Hello.
Good morning.
So I have to get my oil changed today. I'm going to get my oil changed and then I'm headed to Oregon to see my babies. You told me off the air that you had something to talk about. Is it fun or is it serious? Because I have something serious to talk about and I didn't know if we wanted to do serious first and then end it with some fun or if we wanted to reverse it.
You know what? Mine is fun, campy, and takes about 2 seconds. So let's save it. Okay. The serious thing that you're going to bring up, is it so serious that at the end I can't tell a little dad joke and it'll be okay? Or is it so serious that at the end I can, it'll kind of break the ice a little?
Maybe we'll see how it goes. You and I tend to figure out where to fit in a bad joke to change the mood, so it's fine.
Okay, let me write this down real quick so I don't forget it. And okay, we're good. What's your serious thing?
Okay, so if you follow me on social media, you see I'm very, very open about narcissistic abuse in relationships. I've been doing a lot of research. I am not a professional. After my last relationship completely blew my mind, I've done a lot of research and I post about it. And needless to say, everybody's like, you're crazy, you're bitter. There's people who call me crazy and bitter, and that's fine. However, a mom reached out to me over the weekend that her daughter was going through this very toxic, abusive relationship. And because I've been posting, her daughter wouldn't listen to her. But we've been doing this for about 20 years. So the people in the Valley have grown up with us and kind of look up to us. So she started directing her daughter to my page. Look, Madden's going through it too. Like, what you're going through is not a normal situation. We could be open about it and we can talk about it. So the mom wrote me an email thanking me for helping get her daughter out of a toxic relationship. And this is the reason I do it. If I'm going to be called crazy 100 times because I can help one woman, I will do it again and again and again.
So that was not so serious that it can't have a joke, because that has a really good ending. Like, somebody saw your story and your struggle and said, hey, my daughter's not listening to me, but go look at this. Here's a shared experience. Like, that's what recovery is all about, right? Recovery isn't necessarily just about you. I mean, it is. You're recovering, you're taking your time, but then recovery is also about sharing your experience and your strength and your hope to other people that are going through the same thing, so that A, they know that they're not alone, and B, they're not being told by somebody who didn't do it, that doesn't understand. They're being told by somebody who went through it. So when they say, yeah, but what about this? You can be like, I know, I was there, you know? So that's not a bad story. That's a hell of a good story.
And I want to leave the conversation open so that women can talk to other. So when I started finding out all of the lies and all of the hidden stuff, I reached out to a woman I've never met before. I don't know her. But I heard this situation and I reached out to her and I was honest. I was like, I have some things that I need to discuss. I went through this breakup, and she kind of laughed at me. She mocked me and laughed at me. And she's like, I really don't know him. I don't know why you're hitting me up about this. Right. And then I find out last week that she lied to my face.
Okay.
And I was very open and very raw for reaching out to this other woman that I thought would help me in a dire situation. And she didn't. And we need to stop being like this. You're siding with a guy who put me through a terrible, terrible situation. And then you lied and mocked me. And here's her karma. Is this past 2 weeks, she needed some help with some other stuff. And 1 million people tagged me in it. And I'm like, no, I'm not helping her. I'm not. And it wasn't a dark situation that she needed help with, or I would have helped her. I would have sucked it up and swallowed my pride. It was another situation. And they lost their dog. Somebody stole their dog. And I could have got the word out in 1 million like this, but I didn't. And you guys can call me names all you want, but I reached out to her at the rawest, most heartbroken, terrible. I thought I was worried for my life, and she laughed at me. And we have to stop being like this. We have to stop being like, that bee is crazy. That bee is bitter. There's a reason there's multiple women who feel this way about this one man. It's because it's correct. And I am thankful that mom wrote to me and was like, hey, Thank you so much. You helped my daughter get out of the situation. So I will not stop talking about it. I will not stop being crazy. I will not stop being bitter. And if any woman ever, no matter how you've treated me in the past, has been through that kind of relationship and you need to reach out, somebody to talk to, Madden at khop.com or hit me up on social media. I will help you 100% of the time.
I have to catch the microphone because I can't afford to buy a new one through work. So that was a mic drop into my hand.
Mic drop. See, I knew you'd throw in a joke in there somewhere.
So what you're saying is you're passionate about this. Hey, you know what? Joking aside, here's my take on this from everything that you said. When I listen to what I'm hearing from you, what I'm hearing is support, openness, willingness. And I think that more than anything, just keeping the conversation open and available is the most important thing. I'm in this group called the Council of Ians, right? And it was meant to be a tongue-in-cheek, but literally like 4 days ago, somebody in that group named Ian wrote this thing that said, hey guys, I don't know where to go on this. I'm 31. I feel broken. I don't know where my life is headed. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have anyone to talk to. And anytime I bring it up to my friends, like you said, with the person that you barely met, you know, for dudes, it's a little different in that dudes just make fun of other dudes. Like your friend like outright mocked you, which is awful. The person that you know, this person was like, I'm just afraid to go to other dudes because they may mock me, you know? And that's like how awful is that, right? That anybody feels that they can't go to anybody and just say, I'm having a really hard time right now. And you have to feel like you have to preface it with, and please don't mock me for feeling this way. I really need to talk to somebody.
Yes. And fortunately for women, we are a little bit more empathetic to those feelings, as I'm sure it's way more difficult for men to talk about their feelings with other men.
Your scenario specifically is way more difficult because you're taking so like I get depressed and sad and bummed and I'll cry a couple of times a day because my marriage is ending. And I've got my buddy Nick and he and I will go play disc golf. And he and I kind of have an understanding that in a sea of people out at disc golf that are very much like, bah, 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 you get over it. Like he and I have an understanding that we can talk before we start playing disc golf together about what's going on and sort of have our dude moment and get out what we need to get out and offer each other like honest, clear communication. But in my heart of hearts, I don't feel that way about a lot of people that I know out there because they're just not that kind of person. You know, it's just not that kind of people right now or that sort of relationship. But you're talking about something where like, I mean, like you guys, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And when I first started going through this, it was our listeners, Cindy O and our friend Michelle and women on here who reached out to me and was telling me, you're not crazy, and started sending me more and more. His ex-wife sending me more and more information on what I was going through that I didn't even realize what was happening in front of my face. And I have this opportunity to help other people because I have a voice. We have a voice in this valley to help other people. And this is happening often. And the thing I am thankful for is that I noticed it and hopefully I'm not going to allow it to happen again. And like today on my way to Oregon, I already have a full on narcissistic audio book that I'm going to listen to because I'm fascinated by the way these sociopaths think and the way that they program somebody and the way that they manipulate. And you have taught me about manipulation because you were married to a therapist before, but I didn't even realize that somebody even as strong as I look and seem can be completely manipulated that way. So, and it is the stronger women because it's more fun for them to break down. So it's these women who people portray as being strong and have to keep it together that are the ones hurting, and they don't talk about it. So I have this opportunity to talk about it, and I will not shut up. I will not stop being bananas. I'm going to keep talking about it.
But will you stop being apples? So
no.
Yeah, can I say
yes, Alejandra, Cindy O reached out to me immediately and she really helped me through it. Because
what you're talking about, so like what you're talking about is therapeutic for you and therapeutic for others. And you're taking your road to get there. I'm doing something similar right now, just with a blog that I'm not going to share with anybody. I bought a domain name. I started blogging about a week ago. I'm doing it like twice a day.
Good for you.
And it's pretty raw and stuff that I don't ever want to share with anybody except maybe you sometime down the road. But it's one of those things where you just have to get it out some way. And then once you get it out, you make yourself more available to other people that could use your help. Like for me right now, the stuff I'm going through, I'm useless to anybody. I can't help anybody right now. But you've gone through in the last few months, and you've come out the other side. Not only you come out the other side, you've had conversations, you've met with people. I'm doing what you were doing a few months ago. So maybe in a few months, I'll be in a space where I'm a little bit more open. And I don't have any of the trauma that you had. Like you actually went through some trauma. And you've come out the other side pretty quick. Like I think you should be pretty proud of what you're doing.
Yes, which people, and they don't know the extent. So when we've talked for years about how I'm crazy and on how I'm ghosty pants, and then he kind of used that to make other people believe that the things that he is saying is true. And it's, am I crazy? Sure, I can be. That's fine. Don't make me that way. But if it wasn't for, and his ex-wife especially, opening up these conversations, and she was like, look, these are the things. She goes, and he's worse now than when I was married to him. So what you went through, she's like, sister, you're my hero for getting out so fast and for telling people, like, she goes, I thought I was losing my mind. So for you to be so open, she goes, you are now finally telling the world what I have been trying to speak for years. So thank you. So I'm not going to shut up. And that's the bottom line.
At the end of the day, it's about keeping the conversation open. You're keeping it open. And that's like at the very bare minimum, as long as the conversation is open and you got somewhere to start.
Yes. Okay. Now let's be funny.
All right. Do you think that a tap dancer walks into a room, looks at the floor and says, I'd tap that?
Yes, I do. I think if I was a tap dancer, I'd make all those I'd tap that jokes. Like, that's what she said, jokes all day.
Now, one more. I don't know if I told this one yet. I mean, maybe I did tell this one and the people on the stream haven't heard it yet. But if you have heard it, Madden, act like you haven't.
Okay.
How many times can you tickle a squid?
How many? As many times as you want?
10 tickles.
The reason I didn't answer is because I forgot how many tentacles they have. I was going to say 8, but is that an octopus?
Oh, I don't even know if I think, yeah, I mean, octo is 8. Yeah. That'd be an octopus, right?
Okay. So squid has 10 always?
I don't know. I think we're just trying to fit in the word tentacles by saying 10 tickles. I don't actually know how many. You're really putting me on the spot here for a joke I got off of a Laffy Taffy.
Crush that joke.
Like I remembered it and everything, and I was so proud of remembering the whole joke verbatim. And then you're asking me for the science behind the joke, and I don't have an answer for that.
Your joke doesn't make sense.
It's like the person that's like, Terminator's not very believable. How can you shoot a guy and then he just turns silver and then it grows back? I'm not buying it.
Right?
You know what? In the movie Ghost, Patrick Swayze got behind and made clay pottery as a ghost with Demi Moore. I'm not buying that either.
Remember Gino that we used to work with?
Yeah.
He put up a post. Remember the movie Ted with the talking bear?
I love that movie.
And he's like, you expect me to believe that Mark Wahlberg lives in a brownstone building with that job? And I go, that's the part of the movie that was unbelievable? It was a talking bear that drove and did drugs. You're worried about the apartment Mark Wahlberg is in?
Can I tell you? My most favorite part of Ted and Ted 2 is not Ted, and it's not Mark Wahlberg. It's Giovanni Ribisi. I freaking love him.
Which one is he?
He's the one who kidnapped Ted at the end of the first one. And then in the second one, he was the janitor at the toy company that made Ted. And he was trying to get the owner's attention. And he's like, hey, it's Donnie. Urinal cakes. And the owner looks and goes, what? It's fresh urinal cakes. I give you a fresh one every day. That's the Donnie difference.
Okay, I know Giovanni Ribisi. He was my favorite in Friends.
And so every time I come across a scenario where like I'm upset with somebody or they didn't do like what they were supposed to do, I'll look at it and be like, I guess that's the Donnie difference.
Are there other lines from movies that you just use no matter what the scenario is. Because have you seen Happy Gilmore? I'm sure you have.
Oh yeah.
Anytime somebody misses anything, I love to go, where were you on that one? You know what I mean?
You always also use, it was a cone.
Or we ain't found. That's another one of my favorites.
We did what's called a safari course for disc golfing yesterday, which is where you make up your own course, but it's along the bike paths at La Loma. And so we went into full Wayne's World mode yesterday. Anytime a bike came across, all of us were like, car, game on. Yeah, game on.
My sister Bridget she gets pretty serious about sports. And it's because any field or court she walks into, she's the best one. It's annoying. But when you go with me and my dad, we're Happy Gilmore, like we're making all the jokes. And after like the third hole, can't you guys take anything seriously? So then we get worse and worse throughout the rest of the course.
I want to take your dad disc golfing. I think he'd love it.
You think?
Yeah.
He would love to just hang out with you. He loves you.
And you know what? I don't know what his friend circle is like, but for his age.
Papa Madden?
Yeah.
Mama Madden. Okay. That's it.
For his age group and the type of people that he likes to hang around, there are a ton of people that are right around his age that go out every single day.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I'll talk to him about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's gonna be a no on that, but
I know.
Maybe he'll consider it to just get out of the house.
They have a little one in Manteca.
Where's the little disc golf course in Manteca?
Oh man, I got to look this up now.
Have you played there?
No, but I know it's there, and I was going to a while ago. It's not really a course so much as it's a park with a bunch of baskets set up, and then you make up your own course as you go, which makes it easier and harder.
Was it at Shasta Park?
Let's see, Manteca Park Golf Course. Where was it?
There's an actual golf course on Union with some tennis courts.
No,
I would think maybe Shasta or Woodward.
No, Terra Ranch.
I'll have to look that up.
Terra Ranch Park. I don't have the address on me right now, but even then, it's very small. It's just baskets set up, and you make up your own. I mean, it can be as short as. It's a great beginner spot to go out and practice and learn.
Okay. How are you still doing that every day? Okay, that's by the Meredith Jones. I know where that's at.
Sometimes 3 times a day. When we were talking earlier about our blogging, and when you were talking about keeping the conversation open and what you're doing for therapy, I bought a domain name, and I'm doing this thing right now where I'm completely immersing myself into this for the next year, because I'm going to get serious for 2 seconds. The honest to God truth is, in these last 7-8 months, I had become a very angry, bitter person internally regarding some things, and it's not healthy, and it's consuming me in so many ways, and I don't want to be this person. So I've tried going to therapy with therapists, and it works for the most part. But the problem is that our conversations get too frank, and I don't open up enough. I just go straight to the problem, and I don't leave them a whole lot of room to work with me. So what I'm doing is I'm immersing myself completely in disc golf over the next year, and I'm pouring all of my focus and energy and everything I have into it to try and be really, really, really good at it, and see if that sort of energy and dedication and focus leaks over into the rest of my life. And gives me an outlet where I stop being so angry at all of my perceived wrongs, you know?
Yeah.
So
I'm proud of you that you know that. I'm proud.
Yeah,
because I've gone through multiple therapists, and honestly, like, I get more out of talking to you. I get more out of talking to like people who know me and understand my feelings, because until you're sitting with the therapist and you tend to not tell them everything you're supposed to be telling them.
The person that can't tell anybody anything to, you lie to.
And you lie to them, and I've lied to them too, you know? But I won't lie to you, and there's no reason for me to lie to Jamie or Angie. And Angie's the one who was like, Ian and I, like, your friends know you better than anybody. Why don't you just spill your guts to him? He'll tell you like it is, you know? And it'll help you out. And I feel like I could do the same thing for you. But I'm proud of you. Yeah, I have the whole year planned out. It's work, kids, travel. Just I have to hit a reset button.
Sure.
I have to hit a reset button.
And you know what? After the pandemic, we're not the only ones hitting the reset button. I think we're probably the most vocal about it because we have the platform. But I think millions of people right now are hitting reset buttons. I think millions of people right now learned a whole lot about themselves sitting at home for 15 months with their whole family. 4, 5, 6 people who never lived on top of each other like that before are all now really on top of each other. And there's probably a whole lot of families right now that are hitting a big old reset button, you know?
Yes, a reset. Talk to your yes, Marty. Talking to friends is therapy, and when you go through traumatic and divorce is a traumatic experience. Divorce is terrible. Even
For
if
everybody, yeah.
even if people are like it was amicable, divorce sucks.
And we're talking a lot about me, but it's not awesome for her either, you know?
Yeah, no, and but in like what happened with the, I figured out real fast like who was there. My ex-husband has stepped up strong. Like when I told him what happened and what I went through, he drove from Vegas all the way to the house to take care of the kids while I was in this deep depression. Like my ex-husband stepped up big. His girlfriend stepped up big. You
had a really good support system around you, but on top of that, you took advantage of it. You didn't look at your support system and say, "I have it, I just don't need it." You saw it, you had it, you used it.
I held it in for about a week before I sent you an email at like 3 a.m. that said, I need to talk to you about something. I don't want any judgment. And you called me at like 3:03. What's happening? And I told you, and you're like, whoa. And you just let me spill. And as soon as you reacted the way that you reacted, it opened it up for me. I called my ex-husband the next day and told him, he's like, whoa, Natalie, I'm coming right now. I'm getting in the car. And then his girlfriend said something to me. And I said, did I overstep? She goes, hell no, that is the father of your children. Thank you for telling us. She helped out. Angie and Kelly were like right there for me. My buddy Kenny was right there for me. And you really figure out who your friends are.
Can I, real quick, to your ex-husband, Joe, who was my boss and your boss for 10 years, right? Let's be honest. When we all worked together, we were a hell of a team, but it wasn't a dream team,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like we all had our eccentricities.
When we were like a relationship, when we were on, we were on. But when we were not getting along, it was explosive.
And so, towards the end, before everything played out the way that it did, sometimes things were a little more tense than normal. Sometimes things weren't. And so I think that friendship, relationship wise, at least for me with your ex-husband, it was never strained. It was always just sort of a very employee-employer, like, if this is going to work, I have to keep it like this, because if I get too personal, then things could get explode here because of the whole dynamic. Now, and especially in this last year and a half, and I've always had tremendous respect for your husband.
He's the hardest worker I know. There's a reason he is so successful in this business, is because he works harder than anybody else in this business.
One of the hardest working dudes I'll ever know. But our relationship never had a chance to really kind of foster the way that it has in the last year, in terms of not really having that strain between husband, ex-husband, boss, not boss, in the area, not in the area. Is everybody getting along? Where do we land on this? In this last year, wow, I've really gotten to enjoy his company.
Yes, me too. We have never been better friends than this. He's a good, everybody asked when we were at Old Town, how many people asked me, oh my goodness, your kids are with their dad for summer. How do you feel about that? And I said, I don't have a worry in the world. I'm not even kind of this much worried that something's going to happen to my children. He's a good dad. I'm very lucky.
And the other takeaway too, like my situation, my divorce, your situation, your divorce, at no point, no matter how ugly it does or does not get, at no point did the other person say not a good parent, Like,
yes,
everybody understood. Parenting, we're all on the same page. Friends, maybe if this is my space, you're not in my top 8. But parenting, we're there,
Yes. And so, and that's what he said to me. I was like, you're going to drive all the way here. He goes, you're the mother of our kids are seeing you in this state. Like, what can I do to help you? Nobody's going to be mad at you for getting help, Natalie. Like, what can I do for you? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. No, I love where you guys have landed, especially in these last couple of years. It's been pretty awesome.
Thank you. Me too. So thanks for listening to me. I know it got a little deep in here today, but
you know what though? And I know that you said you were going to go serious, and we did go serious, but at the end of the day though, the takeaway is so positive. The conversation is open for people in the Valley that aren't sure if they should say something or if they can say something. You've made yourself available. You've made yourself a resource. You've shared your story, and it's a raw story, and it's a story that you have to be comfortable to share, because it comes with so much outside opinion that doesn't mean anything, but you still hear it, you still see it,
Yes.
But you made yourself available, and I think that's pretty badass.
Thank you. Oh,
And
Cindy, we love you.
I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said that if you hadn't gotten the fourth beer for that 4-pack that you got, where you let that other guy take the third one. But you went out of your way to get the fourth beer, so I felt like I really had to nail that one home. Like I needed to bring that one home.
I will drop off 4 NA IPAs to your house today, right after the show.
I mean, most people get 6-packs, but if 4 is the best we can do, then we'll do 4.
That's all they had.
Yeah.
4
and that
kinds.
4-pack couldn't have taken 2 more because your buddy was able to take 1. Did they not come off? I'm just kidding. I love everything you get me.
I know you do. I did go into a sock store because you know how you like fancy socks?
Yeah.
But nowhere in Southern California has AC. And Jamie and I, because they had anime socks I wanted for my kids, but we walked in there and within like 2 minutes, I go, I can't stand in this store. I'm dying in here. And turned around. And then when we went to the Liberty Market and they had all those NA beers, I was like, oh, found exactly what I'm getting in.
You found correctly. I love it. Thank you.
All right, you guys, we love you. Thanks for listening to me being crazy and Ian being all emotional.
And don't forget,
suck it up. Don't be a bee.
See, this is why men can't talk to other men or men.
Cry, baby.
A little bit. I'm going through a really hard time right now.
All right, you guys. We'll see you in the morning. Bye.
Bye, guys.